I'm looking. I'm coming on that tour, man. This is
Yeah,
incredible.
that would be fantastic.
I have the same passion you have. Obviously, I've been around the world now 23 times. I spend most of my time hiking inside of ancient temples and pyramids and looking for anomalies all over the planet and even in space now. And when I hear information like this, and I have not been to Thailand yet, I've only stopped through Thailand on a layover flight to Cambodia to do a tour in Cambodia with about 40 people. So I would definitely love to come to Thailand. If I can't make this one, I definitely want to be on the next one with you for sure. And so this is incredible that these temples can rival even the ones in India, because that just blows my mind. So they have, do they show signs of, high science, high technology? What do you see that really stands out?
Well, we're looking at all aspects of it. One of it is advanced ancient technology and also ancient machine technology. The temple that we got access to explore, one temple, which is Cambodian border now. We couldn't do it in the last tour because there was like a tense situation between Cambodia and Thailand, but it has eased up now. So we are going into a temple complex called the Phnom Rang Historical Park. The temple's name is Phnom Rang, and there's another temple there which is called Muang Tham. And these temples have underground structure, a complex like water filtering system. Okay. And it's completely concealed, and there are only some parts that are visible. And we can see evidence of very advanced technology, not just with like engineering technology. Of course, they created a complex underground, like concealed filtration system. But when we look at the inscriptions say this temple was once used as a hospital to heal the sick, which is very interesting to us because the main lingam in the main chamber, the large cylinder-like structure, the lingam is now gone. Okay. Now, what we're really thinking is that in ancient times, they used to make a concoction using 9 different herbs and make them into statues. In India, there's a temple, and again, this temple is also on a hilltop. This is called Palani, and they still have that statue made of 9 herbs. So they take 9 herbs from the mountains. If you consume them individually, they can be very toxic to you. Now, this concoction is called Navapashana. Now, what ancient siddhars did, ancient siddhars were saints who were also scientists or doctors. What they did was they put together all these herbs and they kind of mixed them up and made them into statues. Okay. And they would put them in the main chamber. Now, when devotees would come on an everyday basis, the priest would pour water on top of the statues, and the tiny bits of this concoction would go to the devotees. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is how they healed the sick. So we're going to one temple called the Phnom Rang Temple, which not only has this advanced technology of filtration system, but we're also looking at like the healing powers of these lingams and temples.
Oh, that's incredible. I had a huge epiphany in this last trip to Egypt, working with Muhammad Ibrahim there. He's just an absolute genius. This man is incredible, and you'll meet him very soon. And just getting an understanding of a lot of the healing potential in some of these temples and sites, like the one you're talking about, and some of the ones you're talking about right now in Thailand. And I began to realize that these ancient sites, they're multifunctional stone machines, healing areas, astronomical clocks, timepieces. I mean, they have so many functions. And because they have so many functions, what it seemed like in researching the sites more recently is that if you have a laptop, right? Like I'm on a laptop right now, there's a desktop, a Mac desktop connected to this rig that I'm talking to you on. but it's capable of doing so many things. I can use it to just check email. If that's the only level of technology I understand with this machine, I can just check my email and respond to email. If I have a little bit more knowledge, I could take that same machine and I can actually do Excel spreadsheets, Word documents. I can make complex calculations. If I have a little bit more knowledge, I can actually use computer assisted design, and I can become a master architect and design structures and buildings all over the world. I can design rockets to go into space. The more knowledge I have, the more uses and functions I can get out of the same machine. I can even then utilize it to communicate halfway around the world with you, through this device. So it's like, it depends on the level of knowledge you had. And it seems like over time, just on my research, a lot of the higher levels of knowledge were lost, but the healing knowledge was always there. They always seem to function as healing areas or areas that can heal people. And it seems like that retention of the healing powers just kind of sustained over many eons. No matter where I look around the world, healing seems to be the primary fundamental basis of most of these sites. And it's really astonishing because, again, even though some knowledge was lost as to the true function and multifunction, the healing seems to be the consistent thing I find all around the world.
Yes, because it's of great utility to people, right? This is why all the hospitals are full, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people are going to get sick someday or the other, right? And so it's of great value and use to people, right? So if I just give a lecture about some like advanced engineering, most people would not listen to me, right? But if you're actually, dishing out pills or healing the sick, then you would have a line in front of your house, right? Mm-hmm. So that knowledge has always been there. And of course, you're giving an excellent analogy that, the temples and the pyramids and the ancient sites are like computers, right? Mm-hmm. So a child would only play like a game with that computer, right? But Billy can send a rocket, right? So it depends on who is using that computer for what. And that's what we see with ancient temples as well. The ancient, when we go to this temple called the Phimai Temple in Thailand, we're going to another temple called Phimai Temple, which is all about the Nagas. And we can see carvings of dancing women. We can see carvings of complex gods. You can see carvings of wrestling. You can see carvings of war. So now you can see carvings of erotica, for example, right? And so they don't actually belong in a place of worship, according to us, right? Yeah. So people would be like, why would there be erotica in a place of worship? Or why would there be, two people doing fighting with swords in a temple? But the temples were designed like an encyclopedia. Okay, so the temples were designed. So if you were just a child who could only understand like cartoons, you could see all the animals. And this is why you see carvings of all the animals at the bottom level, right? If you're like 15 years old and if you think, oh, science is the best thing, right? So if you're going through that phase where you're into scientism, where you think science surpasses everything, so you would look at all the, the administration and the war and how they captured the elephants and all that stuff.